Well, all right. It's Wednesday, May 29th, just after 11 Pacific Standard Time, and wrapped up my day about 1:30 Eastern, like I typically do. And for anyone that doesn't know, I do live stream at 9:25 Eastern every day. And today, not a bad day, 2-0. I'm now 4-0 for the week so far. On the short week, 40 week. And on my first trade that I took today, I was able to pass one of my evaluations, evaluation 41. Took me 7 trading days, but I passed it today and made $202 on the trade today to pass it. So I'll show that trade coming up here in a minute. And then as well, took 2 trades on evaluation 43, which is the 250K account. So made 1,052 today between those 2 trades on that account. And so now I'm up just shy of 3,300. Still a long way to go, you know. Still got to make another, 12,000 pretty much. So still ways to go there, but looking good. And then on my second trade of the day, I traded 43 and 45 together. And on that last trade, I made another 484 on that account. And you can go back and look at my live stream and see, you know, how much I made on the first trade on the 250K versus the second trade on the 250K. Trading 6 contracts on that account and trading 4 contracts on the 50Ks for the most part. Although today I traded, I think I traded 2 contracts on 41 since I was, I think it was about 100 and, what was it, $150 or so shy of passing it when the day started today. So it just took me 1 trade like I expected it would. And yeah, let's see. When I started the day, this is the 1 minute chart. For anyone that knows, I typically trade on tick charts, or have been trading on tick charts. And usually I'm looking for every second entry to see if it works for my profit target. And if I see a chart that's consistently working for my profit target on all second entries, then I'll use those charts. Lately, I just haven't been able to find good tick charts where every second entry is consistently working. So today I had 2 to start off the day, and they both quickly picked up a second entry that didn't work. I've added a new rule to my BS system, which is that I definitely won't trade it before 7 my time, which is 10 Eastern. And really, I want to even give it like an extra 15 minutes. So 10:15 Eastern is when I'm willing to start trade it if I have good charts. Just because I noticed that lately the charts just pick up a loss pretty early on. And so it's not even enough time in the regular session to really judge whether it's consistent or not. So a lot of times I was picking up a loss on my first trade because it was like right at 10 or before 10 or just a little after 10. So it seems like if it's staying consistent after like 10:15 Eastern, then you know, they're a little bit more reliable. But lately just can't even find any charts. So today I did find 2, and then they went bad pretty quickly, and I just wasn't able to find any more. So I'm just finding myself trading on this 1 minute chart, which is fine. I think overall I've been trading pretty well on it. And I just, you know, when I stick to my setups and my price action reads, I'm trading pretty well. I'm not getting a ton of trades, but I'm being a lot more consistent, getting, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 trades kind of thing. But when I push when I push a little too hard and get too aggressive and start taking trades that aren't my typical setups, then that's when I've picked up more losses lately. So I'm just going to stick to what's working for the most part for now and try to evolve as I move forward. So when I started today, it was pretty clear it had a really strong first leg down and a really strong second leg down. We had already met it, and we're still pushing below. So it was kind of like 2 legs down with like a third leg down, which had 2 legs in it. And when I was getting started, was just, you know, for my live stream right before the New York Open at 9:30 Eastern. So yeah, let me take this stuff off the screen here. But yeah, I did pass evaluation 41. Let's talk about the trade that I took. And let's see here. All right, so I was looking to actually trade the opening New York Open orb trade, and what I had was this tight little range here, and I was hoping it would stand there because then what I was thinking was to go long, but instead it broke out to the downside. I was still thinking long, but I just didn't want to. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger here. I didn't want to, when it broke down, I didn't want to play it long right above the candle because I'm always concerned that it's going to, use the previous support as resistance and bounce back down. So I'm always a little bit wary of that. And then I was a little bit wary of just being above this level because I didn't want it to like tick me in here just to shoot down like a false breakout on the other side after a false breakout here. So, considered putting it up here, but then I was concerned about this level, and then I considered putting it above that level, but then I was concerned, that maybe all the move is already taken by that time. What it turned out to be is if I had played long any of these areas, if I played it there, if I played it here, if I played it here, even if I played it up here, it would have worked. But in any case, played it safe, decided not to take the trade there. Also, I was set up to take the trade on evaluation 41, which was the one that I just needed one good solid trade to pass. And so I just figured, okay, I don't want to push my luck on the opening trade. I just, I felt like I had a good read. It felt like it should bounce back up for as far as it pushed more than two legs and a whole third leg with two legs in that. And yeah, so didn't take a trade there. And what I did do is I had one leg up, two legs up that was reached here. Before that, there was actually a trade here that I liked. Kind of a new high, and I was looking for a second leg up at that point. And first entry long, and then above here was a second entry long right off the midline of the Bollinger Band, which is a new thing for me, trading the Bollinger Band. I took off actually the EMA entirely from my chart now on the 1 minute. I still use it on the tick chart, but kind of the idea is usually the EMA and the midline of the Bollinger is pretty much in a similar spot when these set up like this. And so I wanted to see if I take off the EMA, if it's a little bit clearer, because sometimes it's a little bit muddy. The EMA might be like a little higher or lower, and it kind of changes the way it looks. The only reason I didn't take this trade, again, I kind of froze, but the reason I didn't take this trade was just because of this level here, this resistance. And so just eyeballing it was like, oh, it doesn't look like a lot of room. But when I measured it, it was actually more room than I thought. There was a good 5 points in there. So if I had realized there was a good 5 points in there, maybe I would have taken that trade because I was still looking for a measured move up. And so that would have been a good trade. I think I should have taken that trade. I am still getting used to the Bollinger, and I'm not sure in these cases. Like we had a close outside the Bollinger, you expect to come back inside. Then we went back towards the top of the Bollinger, but didn't actually touch it. Came up shy, and then went and touched the bottom. And so I haven't figured out what that means when we don't actually touch the top. We hit the bottom, and then we get a trade off the midline of it. Anyway, would have worked this time. So I'll be looking for those in the future. The trade I did take, my first trade, was kind of the inverse idea. Had one leg up, two legs up, so I had the full measured move. And then how I saw it was we had a new high. We had, a close outside the Bollinger, and then we touched the top of the Bollinger. And how I saw it was a new high, first entry long, second entry long that was failing. And it was failing with the close below the midline of the Bollinger. And we had just come out of an area where we had that close outside the Bollinger, touched the top of the Bollinger. And so I felt it was pretty safe to say we would touch the bottom of the Bollinger. And with this trade right here, the only thing I was trying to be careful of here was there was this yellow line, which is the previous day low. And so that can act as some support and resistance. Over here, it's potentially a little bit of resistance area. And as you can see, like it did play some support here. So when when I had my profit target, it was set to a little bit lower. And when it wasn't quite reaching it, I decided to just try to get out of this trade. Plus, it looked like I had enough to pass that evaluation. So, if I turn on here, you can see I got out multiple levels, different contracts. It kind of filled me right at the bottom of the wick for some of the contracts. One of the contracts, and then I got out for 4 contracts kind of in this middle one, and then my last was up here. So I was kind of moving the stop down, but trying to also just take profit with my take profit target. So it's kind of messy, but I got the trick done and it passed the evaluation 41. So it worked just as I wanted. And the big thing for me was just making sure to get out and take profit before it hit this yellow line, which is the previous day low, like I said, because it can be support and it could bounce right there. And you can see it kind of did. It touched it and it bounced up and had a little bit of move up, and then it did it again and then bounced up again. So that was just kind of an area I knew I wanted to make sure I locked in profit before that. So I like that trade. That was a good trade. I took that on evaluation 43 also, 43 being the 250K account, trading 6 contracts on that. And then this time I just traded the 2 contracts on evaluation 41. Didn't need the extra risk to get the profit I needed. So that was a pretty good trade. Like that one. And then didn't really see anything I liked in all of this. And then this one was one I liked a lot. Actually should change the color of this so it's a little clearer. So this tight yellow range, we had a support level here. It tested it once here, tested it here. And so what I saw was a new high, first entry, second entry, kind of was like a third test of that level. The other thing I liked was we had pierced the top of the Bollinger and came back to the bottom. And this is something I notice a lot. You reach the top, you go to the bottom. You reach the bottom, you go to the top. And Bollinger is pretty effective that way. And also finding it interesting when the Bollinger lines up perfectly with like a range. So you can see these blue lines on top and on bottom are just matching it beautifully with the sideways range and sideways price action. And so that was another reason that I just felt like, okay, if I get a strong bar here, it was a first entry, second entry long off of this level of support that was working pretty well. And coming off the top of the Bollinger, pierce the bottom of the Bollinger, you'd expect to go back to the top at that point. And then I did have, looking at this, I was saying, okay, well, this could be 2 legs and 1 bigger leg. So I measured out 1 big leg, and then I was looking actually for a second leg up as well, with a target up here. And so that was another reason to like this trade. The second trade that I took was just going for that measured move, expecting it to, at least go to the top of the Bollinger, if not go and make that measured move. And it didn't end up doing that. But it more than enough gave me my profit target here. What I did here was I just went for, what was it? I guess I went for 6 1/4 points here. Is that what it is? 5 3/4. What I did was I just, I figured we would at least get to the midline of the range. And I figured even if resistance was the midline of the Bollinger, that it would still pierce through it. So I figured it was a safe spot. It was just part of my ATM that it put the profit target there. And really, I thought it was going to go to the top of the Bollinger, but I didn't want to push my luck, and I was happy with that much. So just wanted to be conservative and collect what I felt was like pretty much a sure thing. It worked right away and continued to work higher. So definitely left money on the table, but that's all right. And so I like that trade. You can see I got in late. I bought the bid when this bar formed above this bar. And what happened was this bar was staying below the top until right when this bar was closing. It closed up here. So really this bar just closed. It came down, picked me up on my order, and then went ahead and moved up. So yeah, like that trade a lot. I felt like that was a good trade for me. And then really just didn't see anything the rest of the day. It was pretty choppy, kind of in this what turned out to be a larger range. And see, you can see we're still in this range even now. So at this point, I actually thought it was maybe going to break out and go to that bigger measured move higher, but it just hasn't been able to do it. And it's tried once, tried twice, tried 3 times, tried 4 times, 5 times, now 6 times. So it just seems like it's pretty range bound at this point. Who knows what'll happen the rest of the day? I'm done, so it doesn't really matter to me what happens the rest of the day. And yeah, overall, it was a good trading day. I'm just still exploring and observing the Bollinger Band, not having the EMA on the 1 minute chart. And I am also keeping my eye on the 5 minute chart throughout the day, as well as the 15 minute chart. So just to kind of have an idea of bigger picture as well. And then I still do look at my tick charts as well to kind of, even if I'm not using them to actively trade off of them, just to have a bigger picture idea what's happening for the day. Yeah, so I think that kind of says it all. I'm happy with the day. Just about $1,800 added up. So for me, that's a big day on 3 accounts. And yeah, just going to keep moving forward in this way, taking these kinds of setups, the setups that I trust and have good experience with. And these are the kinds of trades that have been giving me a higher win rate. And it's when I do things like the other day, last week, where I'm just like trying things and taking trades that aren't my typical setups, that's where I'm going to get a lot more losses. So I think this is the way I want to play it. Just, even if I'm not getting a ton of trades, if these are the trades that I feel like I can really have a high consistency and win rate with, I think that's the way I want to trade, especially now that I'm getting a PA back. Just want to take solid trades on this PA and not put too much pressure on myself, but trade them the way I've been trading these evaluations. When I trade within myself, I do really well. When I get outside of that, or when I start putting pressure on myself or whatnot, then I get outside of my trading game plan, and that's where the losses come. So I'm just gonna try to stay within myself and trade this way and see where it takes me. So yeah, so here's the this is basically the price action from when I started right here, and this is what the day looked like. So pretty choppy once it made the initial 2 legs up. Yeah, I feel fortunate that I was able to find a couple good trades off of it. And, just want to continue this week. Even, if I'm getting 2 trades a day and we have a 4-day week this week, if I can be at 8 trades at the end of the week and hopefully win them all, then that's the direction I like to go in. And even for me, 8 trades in a week, 10 trades in a week, that's a lot of trades for me, historically speaking. So I'm very happy with that, just to get 2 trades in a day. That's really all I need to be able to pull off my bigger goals and objectives. So yeah, once again, 2-0 for the day. First trade was evaluation 41 and 43, and then the second trade was 43 and 45. So that's why there's only 1 trade on 45. And and that second trade, by the way, what did I say I got on it? So yeah, 6.25 points. 6.25 points on that got me $484 on 4 contracts. So let me think. 6. So it's 24 ticks. 25 ticks. Right, that sounds right. Yeah, my ATM is set for 25 ticks when I'm trading this way. So 25 ticks, and made $484 on 4 contracts on evaluation 45. And then, as you can see, I had 6 contracts on the 250K account. So yeah, I mean, if I can make $1,000 a day on the 250K, like that's right where I want to be as far as working towards passing that thing. But it's a behemoth. You need 15,000 profit target to pass this account. So that's a big target for me. So it might be asking too much of me, but I'm off to a good start here. 5 days, I haven't taken a loss. No, that's not true. I had that day where I almost burned the account, and then I brought it all the way back on the last YOLO trade. So I have taken losses on it, but I've got a full $6,500 drawdown on it right now, and I've made a good start on it. So I'm going to try to keep that going. I'm not going to try to pass it by tomorrow or whatever. I'm going to try to pass it. I have till June 15th to be able to lock in the lifetime, fee, promo fee for, I think what was it, $85 promo fee for the lifetime. So got a lot of time to pass it. And if I can do $1,000 a day, $600 a day, something like that, I think I might have a chance, to get that promo. And all right, so I think that pretty much covers it. So I'll have a PA account to trade with tomorrow. And, the past week or whatever it's been without a PA has been kind of weird because it's been like a year where I've always had a PA. So this was really the first time where I had no PAs at all. And so it'll be nice to have one to start working on. And it'll be my goal to get the 10 days in, build up the profit, and get to that first payout, while at the same time hopefully building up other PAs, and building up another kind of army of PA accounts to work with. So, all right, I think that does it. Like I said, 90% discount ending tomorrow, Thursday, May 30th at midnight. Use this code or any other you have. And 4-0 for the week. Much better week so far. Hopefully I can finish strong with the next 2 days. And no orb trade for a little while. 20-3 still on that one, 87%. When I see a good opportunity, I'll still take it. I'm not going to take it on my PA. I want to get to a payout, and then I'll consider starting to take it on PAs again. And obviously playing by the newly more clearly defined rules by Apex. And other than that, yeah, check me out on the live stream, 9:25 Eastern, 1:30 Eastern. Appreciate those that come in and participate in the chat. Appreciate that. And always makes my day a little bit more fun and interesting. So thank you for those that come in. And if you haven't done that yet, feel free to come in. Just kind of a non-judgmental place. Feel free to say whatever's on your mind. And for anyone that hasn't liked or subscribed yet, appreciate it if you do, and follow me on my journey. This is just all about me trying to get to my first payout on Apex. Been trading it for a year and no payouts yet. I've made a number of adjustments with my trading strategies. I continue to evolve and just trying to be as consistent as I can. 79%, a little lower than I'd like to be. Ultimately, I wish I'd be around 85% or better. So I'm going to try to work on getting back towards that level if I can. And we'll see what happens. But thanks for joining me on my journey. And I think I've said it all. So I'll wrap this up and be back at it tomorrow. Hope you'll join me at 9:25 Eastern for the live stream. All right. Hope you had a good trading day, and I'll see you tomorrow.